Hi, I'm Dr. Dan Ratner, and I'm here with Ross the Boss on MFSN, and we are here with the world's strongest man crown from 2019, Martins Licis. He is considered one of the strongest human beings walking on the earth.
That's right.
Welcome to our show, and be gentle on me. I'm wearing a Let My Cameron Go shirt. I clearly am not the muscle man that you are.
It's all really about lighting and angles. It's all
right. That's just lighting. It's no big deal. My lighting is terrible.
That's it. That's it right there.
Martins, you weren't born in the U.S. Can you tell us where you were born? Give us the backstory.
I'm originally from Latvia. My parents and myself, we moved out here when I was like 4 years old. But I would still go visit my family in Latvia here, usually once a year. And as a kid, I was like 9 years old when my dad pulled me into the gym and started training me. And I was like total couch potato. Love playing video games. I still do, by the way. But he said, okay, I've had enough of this. You're coming to the gym with me. And I started lifting with him, and I hated it at first. But my dad kind of edged me on. He said, just stay with it for a year. And if you don't like it after that, then you can quit. So I tried it for a year. And after a year, I fell in love with it. I grew absolutely addicted. And I would visit my grandparents and their farm in Latvia, where my grandfather was a stone sculptor. And he also showed me how to do all this farm work and move rocks around. So I'd help them move rocks. And then I saw on TV these guys competing in basically this heavy farm work I was doing. And I thought, you know what, I could do that. And I thought it was so fascinating. It answered the question of also, as I was lifting with my dad, I started getting curious, what does this all mean? All these plates and numbers on these machines, what does that equate to? What can human beings do with this strength? And the strongman really sought out to show what's possible with human strength and the human body, and show what kind of stuff we can lift, not just bars or plates and machines.
No, I love this. It's an intellectual pursuit. It's not just about the physical. You're like, what does this mean?
To me, it's what's possible. What's possible with our bodies.
Yeah, I mean, you were actually, I don't know if this is true. I want to ask you, when you were a kid, some older kids beat you up, and that actually motivated you to get bigger and stronger. Is there any truth to that?
Yeah, there is truth to that. I was just finished 6th grade in elementary school, and these high school kids, I was already a pretty big guy, but these 4 guys mugged me at a bus stop, and I had to get stitches in my mouth and everything, and I thought, you know what, never again. I'm going to throw myself into lifting to the next level and get so big and strong, and it worked. I never got.
Did you ever see those guys again? Did you get revenge? Tell me you did.
Oh, I got to when I got to high school. I was a freshman in high school. They were seniors, and I got to play football with them, and that was fun.
Oh my God! You have to tell us what happened.
There's really not much more to it other than, in football, contact is very much appreciated, and I got to have plenty of that. Lay him out.
That's good. I love revenge.
When did you decide you wanted to be a strongman?
That must have been right around when I was 10 or 11 years old, when I was lifting I was just doing farm work in Latvia. It was strongman came on the TV in Latvia all the time, and I saw on TV while I was doing farm work, frankly, between farm work, and I was like, holy crap, these guys are basically doing slightly heavier version of what I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, just so different. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing that you got to do what you want to do, and you watched it on TV, and you actually did it.
Absolutely.
I mean,
who was your biggest influence?
Yeah, who's your biggest influence?
That's actually a crazy story. So, as I was getting into strongman, I always, one thing that fascinated me was longevity and strength. So Odd Haugen, who was in his mid-50s, placed in the top 10 in the world's strongest man. I think he placed 6th in the world, which is just legendary. This guy's mid-50s and still in the top. And I was just so fascinated by him and his accomplishments. When I came out to California, I started calling around for just competitions in the area. One of the competitions I called for was the LA Fitness Expo Strongman Odd Haugen Strength Classic. I didn't know that it was going to be him answering the phone. But I got on the phone, and there was this heavy Norwegian accented gentleman talking to me, and I told him I really want to compete, and I had not competed yet. I was like 20 years old, and just wanted to network. So I told him I want to compete. He asked me how strong I am. Told him all my stats, and he said, "Well, yeah, you're strong, but not quite strong enough." And I'm like, "Well, shoot, I don't care about if I win or lose. I just want to network so I can meet these guys and then just have someone to lift with and show me the ropes of strongman." He's like, "Oh, why didn't you say so? Well, come by my garage and I'll train you." And then I get the coordinates. I go over there, and lo and behold, it's Old Haugen, and I am just so starstruck. I couldn't believe it. This is the guy that is inviting me to his garage to train. So then I trained with him, and after a year of training with him, I grew much stronger. And I said, "Okay, Odd, well, we've been training together. Could I go compete in that show that I originally called you about?" He said, "Oh, you're still not quite strong enough. A little bit more time." Second year goes by. I say, "Could I compete?" I said, "Not quite strong enough." Third year goes by. He's like, "Okay, you're ready." Oh. And then third year in, I compete at his show, and I'm competing against professionals. It's a pro-am, so amateurs and professionals compete against one another. And I won the show. And
wow, so your first time out, you win.
You won as an amateur.
I won as an amateur.
And you couldn't get the money, which is awful. I'm sorry you didn't get the money for that. Now, what kind of training did he do with you? I mean, I'm sure Norwegians are known to train like with weird things. So, what kind of training devices did he use that you were not accustomed to?
The weirdest, the strangest. We would do telephone pole lifts. Every single training, we'd be lifting rocks and stone. And I found out from him that, stone lifting really is a staple. It's a centerpiece. You need to be an excellent stone lifter if you're going to win strongman competitions. And that advice really stuck with me. And I've always included stone lifting in my training. And it's rare that I lose a stone lifting event. I'm usually the best.
Has there been anything that you had to do in these strongman competitions that you just were not accustomed to that you had to figure out later? In fact, how to do it?
Oddly enough, despite my explosivity, throwing was very difficult for me. And that is a very technique-heavy event. I noticed my legs are very strong, but I don't have very strong shoulders. And a lot of these other strongmen, they could just flick those weights up with their shoulders. So I actually had to go back and get a throwing coach to teach me how to get the swing and release right. And ever since, throwing has actually become one of my better events. But that for many years, I struggled with keg toss, basically. Keg toss over height, over bar.
That's the thing. When we hear about the different things that you do, like those gigantic tires or like pulling buses, I can't even comprehend it. So you're 6'3", 355. Do I have those numbers right?
When I compete, I'm walking around 355. Right now, I'm like 320, 325. I'm slowly building back up to compete again in October for the Rogue Invitational.
Okay, so if I wanted to do this, what should be my average day of food intake?
Well, that totally depends because you don't want to get thrown into the amount I'm eating, which is up to
I can't go right to it. Give me
a goal. I want to hear what your diet is let me hear an average. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner for you. Tell us what it is.
Okay, so my breakfast is just, I call it the breakfast pile. It's just 6 to 8 eggs, a mound of potatoes, salmon, mound of spinach, little baby amount of baby carrots, olives, and a latte, delicious latte. That's my breakfast.
So that's breakfast.
That's breakfast, yeah.
And is there a snack in between breakfast and lunch?
I'll have a protein shake and some fruit, nothing too crazy.
Okay.
Then I'll eat for lunch. I'll just my business partner here, Romark, and he's been by my side for years now. I owe a lot to him because he's really helped make all this come together, take a lot of stress off my shoulders. He uses the Traeger Super Smoker. We make smoked brisket, and right now he's actually out there making some right now. It's 12-hour smoke, and I have brisket and a mound of potatoes and spinach.
And I'm just cracking up that some of your food intake involves mounds of things.
It's a mound. It's no plate anymore.
And how much time happens between breakfast and lunch?
Let's see, maybe 4 to 5 hours. Again, I'll have that protein shake between.
Hey, you gotta
protein
have the snack
shake in the afternoon. So now it's dinner time. You worked out. You're hungry. You gotta eat so you're full and you're ready for the next day. What do you eat for dinner?
On dinner. I try to go a little lighter. I have it's actually just a normal plate of food, and I'll have trout or carne asada with spinach, and then I'll have some sourdough toast, but not too much. Just and try to eat like more fruits.
So spinach is your vegetable. I can tell you love
It,
spinach just like Popeye did, right?
oh gosh, I love spinach. Yeah, it's so easy to make, and I could just eat a lot of it.
And do you ever eat fast food? Do you ever go to In-N-Out Burger? Do you ever go to any of the Fat Burger, any of the restaurants that Ross the Boss likes to achieve, that goes to once in a while?
I used to do that a lot, but lately I've been trying to clean up my diet. I'm going to be making a transition into acting, so I'm leaning out. I'm trying to look my best and feel my best, and now I'm in my 30s, so health is more on my mind. But yeah, it used to be such an easy go-to daily. In-N-Out and burritos is what I do.
Yeah, listen, I could get to 355 pounds on In-N-Out and burritos very easily.
And I did for all of 2019, leading up to Worlds. Burritos and In-N-Out burgers was definitely a staple.
So you mentioned acting. You've been in this Geico commercial.
Yes.
And I want to hear about your experience in the Geico commercial.
Oh, that was so fun. That was so much fun. First of all, I love that I live in the LA area, so that makes things easier. Basically, woke up and took my bike 10 minutes down the road, and I was on set. But yeah, these guys, they wanted me to pull this truck for real. I actually didn't, because they said, "Could you pull this truck?" And I said, "No problem, of course." But you only get 2 to 3 shots of that. And they're like, "Oh, that's gonna be a problem." So we had to find a way, like, because they didn't realize that, like, we can actually get tired.
Right, you can't just pull a truck like 15 times.
It's not a casual thing. I just do when I wake up.
Wake up and pull a truck.
That was a reality check for them, I think, to realize, no, I can't do a 13-day shoot pulling a truck over and over again, because that's actually what I did for a Hefty commercial. Is I opted to actually pull it, and it was hours of pulling it, and my legs were completely destroyed. For 2 weeks, I couldn't use my legs, so I learned from that to say no. We're doing a shoot. Either you will get the real thing 1 to 3 times, or we're gonna make this easy.
Now, speaking of vehicles, you cannot fit into a sports car, which I wouldn't think you could.
It's miserable. Yeah,
they're tiny. So Is it hard finding a car for you?
So no, I mean, not necessarily because I get a truck. That's fine. I actually drive a Honda Civic. I've been holding on to for
Honda Civic. You fit into a Honda Civic.
It's a one-seater.
Out of all the cars, out of all the sedans, Honda Civics are the most comfortable for me.
Wow, you should do a commercial for them. Hear that, Honda Civic? We got a strong man that can fit in your car. That's a commercial right there. Dr. Dan, make your call.
I don't want to be stuck with them, though, because my dream car is absolute dream car is the Tesla truck. I can't wait for that.
I like Tesla a lot. I own some of their stock. Tesla, actually, the range on that truck's going to be like 500 miles too, which is unbelievable.
I can't wait. That's my dream car. I don't care for any other car until that thing.
Well, yeah, Dan, do you want to tell them the good news? We actually got you one. Look outside your window.
Oh my God!
It's a new car.
It's a Tesla truck. Don't play with me like that.
I didn't know we had that in our budget. That's incredible.
I wish. Oh my gosh, that would be so amazing.
All right, listen,
we really did that, guys. Can you imagine, like, we surprised you, and what great, this thing will go viral in a second.
Next time we interview Martins, I'm going to be as big as he is, and there will be that car outside.
Yes.
So
it might be a long time.
Please. I just want to take that truck with like ATV, go out to like the desert, pretend we're on Mars.
Oh yeah.
Like, we're only allowed to drink reclaimed water. We got it.
You got it.
That's right.
So I have a question. You're as you mentioned, you're 6'3", 350, let's say. Where do you buy your clothes? I mean, you can't go to the Gap and buy clothes or buy jeans at a regular store. There's no way.
Oh gosh, no, that is especially pants have been brutally difficult. Frankly, I'm so lucky. One of my sponsors is Barbell Apparel. They have stretchy, perfectly fitting jeans that I could even squat in.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I'm so grateful for them because I could not wear jeans. Then these guys came along and let me try out their stretchy jeans, and I fell in love. So I'm working with them now.
This is like you're a walking commercial because everything you use is so interesting. Your pants fit.
It all fits together.
What
It
size
does.
jacket are you?
4XL.
But is it like a 68 size? I mean, what do you know the size? Like,
I have no idea.
but you just, I mean, just the arms. I mean, I don't know how you buy clothes. I thought I had trouble buying clothes, but you must be just impossible to buy clothes for.
It's more than anything is the pants. The pants is the most difficult part. But yes.
And as I mentioned before, I work out. I do free weights. I go to Zoo Culture. I see some of your nemesis like Brian Shaw and Bradley Martin and Larry Wheels and all those guys are working out with Ross the Boss. I show them how to lift. I show them how to live like a strong man.
That's right.
But I want to hear about your lifting regimen. What you do every day now to stay in shape and be ready for 2021.
I love that question. So I'm lifting now 4 days a week. All the other days I'm doing rehab or something to really progress my recovery.
Is there cardio involved at all?
Yeah, I'll take walks or go on hikes. Sometimes we'll do like high intensity interval training like on a bike, but never more than like 10, 15 minutes. My workouts alone are 3 to 4 hours, and they're brutal.
Look, it's cardio to eat a mound of potatoes. That's cardio.
I am sweating and panting.
So as you know, I lifted weights for many years. I mean, let's say let's say it's a squat day. How much are you squatting in it? Like for 6 reps, how much do you do?
Okay. So right now I'm in the lighter phase. I'm not working with 6 reps quite yet. I start light with high repetitions to work up my work capacity. And I've done up to like 505 pounds for 20 repetitions on a squat.
All the way down. The full squats, not the Dr. Dan Ratner half squats, but we're talking Ross the Boss full squats, right?
Squats are notorious for being perfect for shitting in the woods.
Yes.
Right. Now, actually, your nickname is the Dragon. I assume it has nothing to do with what you just said. But how did you get that nickname?
That was actually from Moss Wrestling. I'm a 4-time world champion in Moss Wrestling. This is a sport where you basically sit down on your butt, facing your opponent. There's like a board on the floor that you could put your feet on. It's about foot high. You could put your feet on. Your opponent puts their feet on the other side of the board. You hold a stick, and basically you're trying to pull that stick out of your opponent's hands, or pull your opponent over the board, or try to spin them out or something. So there's lots of leverage and twisting involved. So I am a 4-time world champion of that. That was a fairly brand new ancient sport. So it's an old sport that's kind of been revived, so to say. And there was this Russian competitor. He was 6 years undefeated, and I went to face him, and I got into such a mental state. I was huffing and puffing, walking around the stage like that nice guy disappeared. And after I ripped him over the board, this massive 6'5", 6'6" dude, I just let out this roar. And ever since then, people just started saying, "Oh my gosh, he's like a dragon! He's a dragon!" And it just stuck.
I mean, and you never lost, right? You're undefeated.
No, I did lose because in the beginning, when I was competing, I was pretty arrogant. I was strong, and I thought, okay, my strength alone could defeat these guys. And the Russians, I was defeating Americans left and right, no problem. But when I went to Yakutsk in the Siberian Russia, that's where the world championships were. I mean, this place is like pure darkness in the winter. Negative 50 degrees. It's known as the coldest city in the world. That's where the world championships were. I finally competed against the Russians. And their technique and savvy with leverages and timing and just the way they move was just, I had never gone up against anyone that could do the stuff they do, and they destroyed me. And I got obsessed, and I would just watch their videos over and over on slow motion, trying to figure out how they do what they do. And then after that, then it was I went almost undefeated.
You went to the next level. Now you have a YouTube channel, which is hilarious, and you learn a lot from these things. Do you enjoy making those videos? How did you get into that?
Absolutely, I enjoy making these videos, and the way that started was actually through because I was getting ready for the Arnold, the classic. I think it was 20. It was the 2019 Arnold Classic. I was in training for it, and during my training,
Which you did come in third place, which is unbelievable.
that one I came in second place.
The second place, okay.
Yep. It was the next year I came in third place, and I was just limping. I was all sorts of hurting.
Martins, it's unbelievable. It's still great. I mean,
I appreciate it. It's been a battle. All of these have been a battle. So as I was preparing for this competition, Romark came up to me. He was Old Haugen's neighbor, and he said, and he was a videographer, and he did dance photography. He said, you know what? It's ridiculous you don't have a YouTube channel. He's like, I was like, yeah, I thought about it. It's a lot of work. And he's like, you know what? How about I do the videos for you? And I said, oh yeah, sure. I didn't think much of it. I thought he was just talking hot air. And lo and behold, the next day he came over with his video equipment. He said, okay, we're doing this. I'm like, what? Oh shoot, I didn't.
Oh, you meant
that?
Well,
I guess we are. And he just kept showing it up, and we kept making videos, and it just kept going. And here we are.
Do any of your videos involve? I haven't seen tons and tons of them, but do any of them involve your hobbies? You're a painter and you play video games as you did as a kid.
Yes. So a tiny bit. I'm planning to involve that stuff more. Slowly transition to more of the other hobbies and stuff. But for now, we just like to keep it simple.
What video games do you play? I mean, we had Morris Chestnut on, the actor, and he's big on Madden football. I mean, what games do you play on video? What is Call of Duty? I'd have to say, if I had to guess, I have no idea. I say Call of Duty.
I do enjoy Call of Duty. However, my favorite is Overwatch. Love Overwatch. Big Overwatch fan, and that's probably what I've spent 90% of my video gaming time in the last few years.
And you play with people like around the world?
Absolutely.
And you have no idea who they are. I used to play too, and there was this kid named Farts1234. That was his name. He went by Farts1234. And this kid, I found out later, 14 years old, kicking my butt in Call of Duty. Every night I would come on, he would just destroy me.
Humiliating.
And I found out he's like a 14-year-old punk, and he's just like, it's all he does is play video games. But I mean, I get so embarrassed by losing to kids. It's just I kind of took a time out from playing video games for a while.
I get it. It's kind of happened with me with Overwatch too. There was this guy that was just legendary. He was kicking all our butts, and then I found out he's a high school student. I'm like,
oh God!
I need to take a break from this.
That's a real punch.
Do what I'm good at.
So, Martins, when I was younger, I produced a bunch of golf tournaments and I produced a bunch of stuff. I got to work with Arnold Schwarzenegger back in like the 90s, and he invited me to come to Gold's Gym with Ralph Lundgren, and he told me that I can work out with him. So I worked out with them, and I was so sore the next day, but we went to the Firehouse across the street.
Epic.
And we had breakfast there. Classic. I mean, this is stuff that I
lived right across the street there for 2 years.
Oh, you did? That's in Venice, Dan, on Main Street. So we also went to Muscle Beach, and we worked out outside. Have you ever worked out outside at Venice Beach? Have you done that before?
Bit. Yes, I have. A little bit.
So what happened? Do people come up to you and they know you must be like must be the biggest name that shows up there? I mean, you must be huge there.
You know, I actually no. It's been years since I worked out there. I worked out there when I first got to California just because I was fascinated with it. But it's any time I go around the area, I definitely get out Martins as I'm walking by.
That must be nice to be recognized that way. So I wanted to ask this. I used to play video games also, but I played in the days where you just had like 4 buttons. You know, it's gotten too complicated. And I used to get what I called Nintendo thumb. Have you ever suffered a video game injury?
Yes, a horrible one. You know, it was so bad. Okay, so I really wanted to actually get really good at Overwatch. Like I wanted to be competitive. This was during the when everything was shut down during the quarantine. I'm like, what could I do with my time? I'm stuck indoors. I'm going to put the same focus I put it into lifting, into video games. I'm going to be one of the best Overwatch players. Like I had it all planned out. I would do like about 30 minutes of aim practice. There was like this aiming video game where you basically it's purely just trying to aim and hit the target and you get percentage points purely to improve your aim and dexterity in your thumbs. I did that so obsessively. I was getting pretty good. and then I got the Corvian syndrome, like horrible tendonitis right here, and I couldn't even lift stones. It was so bad. I couldn't do my pressing workouts. So I had to take this obsession and put it aside and say, okay, I cannot sacrifice lifting for this.
Listen, Martins, I know your world. I know you're the video game world, not the lifting stones world. And I know that that's the thing that could bring a guy like you down is Nintendo Thumb. You got to be careful.
It's a serious thing. It's no joke.
Did you tell the other guys how you got hurt? It wasn't by lifting. It was by playing video games.
Yeah, and I would tell them, like, the thing that hurts the most on my body is a video gaming injury.
Hilarious. Well, listen, Martins, we loved having you come by. We'd love to have you on the show again, but now there's pressure for me to be as big as you and have a car outside. So
yes,
it might be a little while.
I think you're the only one that remembers saying that. I keep forgetting when you bring it up.
And I keep reminding you. What a fool I am.
All right. So it's on. Now I won't forget now.
Well, listen.
You to blow up.
That's what I had to set the goal to make sure that I got there. Martins, It's been a pleasure talking to you. You're hilarious. You're super talented. You're determined. That's how you got where you got, and we're big fans of yours. So thank you for coming by.
My pleasure, guys. Thank you for having me. It was fun.